Hello? It's a real pleasure to have you here. In this EquixLife space, we're opening an honest conversation and reflective on a topic that arouses curiosity and, sometimes, confusion about what goes through men's minds. For example, as a title, What I Value About You, and it tells us, I enjoy sharing with many people, but when it comes to a woman, the experience takes on another depth. I'm drawn to the possibility of letting go emotionally. With a woman, I can connect from a deeper, more whole place than even with my closest friends. And I'm not just talking about physical intimacy, but an emotional bond. A man can love his friends, of course, but loving a woman involves another dimension. That love transforms you and propels you to evolve. Felix, 23 years old, single, from France. I wish they understood. It would be valuable for them to understand that when something bothers us, we tend to express it directly. That's how we work. Perhaps that's why we also tend to resolve conflicts quickly and prefer to pick up the relationship right where it was before the mistake. It feels natural for us to move on. Jel, 52, in a relationship, from the Netherlands. Something I never say. I'd like to admit that I didn't like the Sunday afternoon movie at all, but I'd rather avoid an unnecessary argument. Fernando, 55 years old, with a partner from Spain, regarding household chores. I consider myself to actively participate in domestic tasks. It is true that my partner has more of a burden. However, this difference means that my contribution, although constant, often goes unnoticed. Maximilian, 63 years old, married, from Germany, male privileges. Although the social landscape is changing, it is undeniable that I still benefit from structures where masculinity has historically enjoyed advantages. Bruno, 60 years old, in a relationship, France. Or are there female advantages? There are also benefits associated with being a woman. When they make mistakes, they tend to receive more lenient treatment. Even in traditionally rigid environments, such as the armed forces, I perceive a different level of consideration. Furthermore, attributes like youth or beauty can open economic doors. Often, they are the ones who choose their partner, and socially, they tend to rely more on their friends, which reduces their feelings of loneliness. Martin, 25 years old, in a relationship, Germany. Would you change your gender? Maybe for a limited time. Fernando, 56 years old, Spain, regarding intimacy. Passion, affection, emotional connection, and desire form a delicate web. If one of those elements is missing, the balance is lost, and when that happens, the relationship is unlikely to be sustained in the long term. Fabini, 39 years old, in a relationship, France. What I look for in a relationship, I longed for a partner with whom I could be my authentic self without the constant pressure to impress, someone who would make me feel valued, appreciated both for my essence and for my actions. Jel, 52, in a relationship, Netherlands. On a first date, I was taken aback to discover that my idealized image of women didn't match reality. You weren't the stereotype from the classic movies my grandparents watched. You were much more complex. You had projects, thoughts, and an independent life. That threw me off. I wanted to feel close, but the closer I got, the more layers I discovered. Alejandro Cortés, 21 years old, single, Mexico, workplace equality. Absolutely. I would even support measures that favor women more. Men have already caused enough damage. Perhaps it's time to rethink our role. Fernando, 56 years old, in a relationship, Spain, regarding roles and behavior. Gender roles are deeply linked to culture, and culture influences almost everything. Some traits seem innate, others are learned. Each individual starts from a different base, but inevitably internalizes social expectations, since in some way, we are programmed by the environment. Tom, 73 years old, single, Finland. What we should teach children. It is not an easy task, because our emotions and convictions can distort our vision. However, I believe it's essential to educate children to avoid unfair judgments. That said, this should be done without imposing a specific identity or behavior on them. I believe in allowing each person to flow, but with a focus on the common good and with genuine respect for differences, avoiding unnecessary confrontations. Alejandro Arriaga San Roman, 61 years old, married, Mexico. In conclusion, beyond generalizations, each testimony reveals nuances, contradictions, and lessons learned. Understanding these perspectives does not mean justifying them, but rather opening a space for more conscious and humane dialogue. Remember that every small step you take today builds a stronger version of yourself tomorrow. If this video was helpful to you, please give it a like, subscribe to EquixLife, and turn on notifications so we can continue growing together. See you in the next video.